You're watching Good Morning Basin on ABC Big 2.
Now at 6, marijuana is officially legal in New Mexico. How law enforcement is responding.
Plus, President Biden is under fire for his move to pull barrels of oil from the petroleum reserve, why lawmakers disagree with his decision.
And we talk to you about the record-breaking amount of oil the president wants to release, why this announcement has been so controversial.
Well, good morning, Basin. I'm Matt Fonts.
And I'm Samantha Smrechniak. Happy Friday. Happy April Fool's Day.
Yes, I didn't even realize it was April Fool's Day. Thank God I know now in case anyone tries to pull some tricks around us.
Exactly. You got to be on the lookout today, everyone. Were you a fan of April Fool's Day growing up?
I feel like younger, it was more fun, like when you would do like fun little things in class and school and stuff like that. But now when we're older, it's like stuff that you might actually believe. So it's like, let's kind of veer away from that a little bit.
I know. Now April Fool's Day just kind of gives me a little anxiety. Right? But I think we have someone in the studio that likes it. Our meteorologist, Ryan DePhillips. Ryan, you're pretty excited about today.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about today because it's Friday, it's April Fool's Day. Looking forward to the weekend and some fairly nice weather. Temperatures starting off near normal for this time of year. 54 degrees in the tall city. Temperatures have actually gone up over the past couple of hours because of more clouds out there absorbing that infrared radiation from during the daytime hours yesterday. All that colder air up to our north not affecting us for now as temperatures will really skyrocket into the 70s and 80s, so much warmer than yesterday. 82 degrees for the afternoon. This morning at around 48 degrees, that'll be the low temperature, so pretty seasonably chilly this morning, but a little bit above that average of 77 degrees. So a fairly mild and fairly nice day. Tracking those temperatures this afternoon. Widespread 80s, 70s in the higher elevations. Stronger winds later in the morning, early in the afternoon, but lighter winds later in the day. Overnight lows dipping into the 40s and 50s before warming back up tomorrow in the 70s and 80s with lighter winds. But I'll be tracking stronger winds and more humidity into Sunday. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Ryan. Here is a live look at Loop 250 and Midland Drive. Traffic picking up slightly this morning, but no backups to report as of right now for your morning commute, or again, if you're heading out in that area to head to the airport. And this morning, it's a new era for marijuana farmers and cannabis enthusiasts living in New Mexico. Adults over the age of 21 will be able to legally purchase up to 2 ounces of marijuana. ABC Big 2's Tatiana Battle joins us live in studio.
And Tatiana, you've got new details on the law that goes into effect today.
Yeah, good morning, guys. As of today, if you're at least 21 years of age, you can purchase recreational marijuana in the state of New Mexico. And that's something that's illegal in Texas, but this new law makes New Mexico one of 18 states that have legalized weed. Now, lawmakers like Democratic Governor Michelle Lujan Grisham hope that by legalizing marijuana, it'll put an end to black markets selling drugs and help boost the economy while providing a new resource of government income. Now here's a closer look at what's allowed under the new law. Now you must be 21 years of age or older to purchase recreational use of marijuana. And you can only purchase up to 2 ounces or its equivalent in liquid concentrates and edibles. Adults 21 years and older can grow up to 6 cannabis plants per person or 12 per household under the adult use law. Now 2 separate sales tax are applied to recreational cannabis sales with this new law. A 12% tax on the purchase of marijuana and a 5 to 9% tax in revenue for marijuana distributors. Reporting live in studio, Tatiana Battle, ABC Big 2 News.
Thank you, Tatiana. And lawmakers do warn that if you purchase cannabis in New Mexico and try to bring it to other states like Texas that don't allow it, that you're going to face consequences.
Yeah, and in the state of Texas, you could face up to 2 years in prison and a $10,000 fine if you're caught with marijuana. Now, we'll have more information about the marijuana law on yourbasin.com.
Now, recreational marijuana is legal in New Mexico, so more shops across the state are getting their licenses.
New Mexico's Cannabis Control Division Deputy Director says the agency has already issued more than 100 licenses for retailers. But that doesn't mean all establishments will be ready to start selling. Some shops need to get licensed through the state through the Cannabis Control Division. Nearly 300 businesses have already applied.
We've now approved at this point 239 new licenses have been approved. And that's, again, throughout the different types of license types. So we have, in the license that we've approved, we have 51 new producer licenses, 56 producer micro licenses, 16 manufacturer licenses, and 116 new retailer licenses.
Now again, the drug is still illegal in Texas, so you can get arrested if you try to bring any products back.
And in New Mexico, it is still illegal to consume marijuana products in public unless it's designated consumption area.
Now, lawmakers are debating whether the drug should be legalized federally. Texas is one of 13 states that have yet to legalize marijuana. But if the federal government makes it legal, that could change.
We have over 5 million medical marijuana card holding patients in the United States. So you have the numbers to show the benefit.
Part of the pressure is coming from our surrounding states that have already legalized it and are now advertising.
The bill would also create a federal marijuana tax and expunge federal court records for nonviolent offenders caught with cannabis. And you can read more from both sides of the argument on yourbasin.com. There you can get the latest on the House's vote.
Well, oil production in the Permian Basin is operating at record numbers. About 5 million barrels a day are being produced despite companies facing supply chain issues, inflation, and high cost prices. Drilling permits are also increasing year to year, yet the profit just isn't there for producers.
The idea of having oil in excess of $100 a barrel sounds good at first blush, but all of the associated activity on the manufacturing side of things or transport side of things, fuel charges, all have risen as well.
We're trying to see the supply chain, where those things are. We're just kind of sitting back and seeing if things settle down.
Some of the bigger oil companies like Chevron and BP will testify before Congress next Wednesday on record high gas prices.
Putin's war is imposing a cost on America and our allies.
And this all comes as President Biden plans to release 180 million barrels of oil from the Strategic Petroleum Reserve. ABC Big 2's Bridget Sarpong hit the streets to see what you think.
People I talk to who live and work here have some conflicting thoughts on President Biden's announcement and the price of gas.
The thing about it, you know, gas just always goes up and down. But usually around this time it does go up anyway. So we'll see what happens in the near future.
Steve Machado is an El Paso native driving through Odessa to get to Dallas, and he says Biden's announcement is good for him because gas prices have been a hassle.
We're paying almost $4.15 down the street and $4.09 over here, and then back over there in El Paso we're paying about $3.80 now. So it's rising, it's going down, it's just fluctuating with it. But other than that, I'm tired of paying this much.
According to Pew Research, gas prices have gone up 58% in the last year. Dwayne Gerdoff works in the oil field, and he says he's happy about the current prices of gas.
For a lot of us that work in the oil field, this is good news for us because it brings economic prosperity to the region, and that's a win-win for everybody.
He says Biden's announcement meant nothing to him.
If that's what the government needs to do, that's a government decision. We'll let the government do the government stuff, but we'll continue doing what we do here in the Permian Basin.
But East Texan Caleb McKay, who's working in West Texas, disagrees.
Man, the gas prices right now, they've skyrocketed in the last few months. It does take a toll on a lot of people out here. It's already expensive as it is.
He says he's annoyed of the inconsistent prices.
It goes from, $1.50 and some change all the way up to almost $6 now. It does make it harder. You have to adjust as, work goes on. And it's just something we have to deal with.
Biden said Thursday that he doesn't know how much gas prices will drop, but said it could range from 10 to 35 cents a gallon. But he warned there could be a slight delay before drivers see the relief at the pump. Reporting in studio, Bridget Sarpong, ABC Big 2 News.
Now, to encourage more domestic production, President Biden also wants to pull leases from oil and gas companies that are not using existing drilling permits on public lands, though some lawmakers don't like this move.
The Biden administration has tried to pass the buck for this mess. They've tried to blame everything but their own radical policies.
Well, I think that, again, that this is a Band-Aid approach by the administration so they can say they're doing something.
And Congressman August Flugers thinks this is a political move. He released this statement yesterday, and it reads in part, quote, "Rather than tapping into our reserves, President Biden should be approving pipelines, cutting the bureaucratic red tape, and fixing the supply chain issues that oil and gas producers are experiencing in my district every day. The administration needs to be advocating for American producers, not against them. President Biden must not play politics with such a critical issue. Energy security is national security," end quote.
And while President Biden is under fire for his decision to release barrels of oil from the reserve, he's announced a policy for oil companies to produce more oil to help the destabilizing energy market. Energy prices have been spiking since Russia's invaded Ukraine, so the use it or lose it policy aims to lower the cost of energy prices and oil.
Congress should make companies pay fees on wells on federal leases they haven't used in years, and acres of public land they're hoarding without production. Companies that are already producing from these wells won't be affected, but those sitting on unused leases and idle wells will either have to start producing or pay the price for their inaction.
Now, this marks the third time the United States has tapped its strategic reserve in the past 6 months. It's also the largest release of oil from the reserve since it was created almost 50 years ago.
Developing now on ABC Big 2 News.
Developing now at 6, Odessa police are looking for a group of thieves. 2 women and 1 man tried to steal more than $1,500 worth of items from a Walmart. It happened back in December last year. The group was confronted by Walmart security, and that's when they took off in a white Ford truck. If you have any information, call Odessa Crime Stoppers.
A Midland teen is behind bars after police say she and her 3 friends were caught stealing. 17-year-old Jashay Edwards has been charged with engaging in organized criminal activity. Court documents say she was one of 4 girls who stole more than $1,100 worth of stuff from Walmart. Meanwhile, this man, Joseph Rodriguez, was found guilty of drunk driving in an Ector County court for the 2nd time. He will now spend the next 90 days in jail and have to install an interlock device on his car. Investigators say Rodriguez was charged with the same crime just earlier this month. Now, you can read more about these cases right now on yourbasin.com.
Coming up, we'll give you a look at the cool new way to get around, how you can custom make it into your own.
Plus, it was another crazy day on Wall Street. We're taking a live look at New York this morning where stockholders' heads are spinning.
And comparing every year on record, ending on April Fool's Day and starting on October 1st, this past 6-month period has been the second driest on record. Only 0.41 inches of equivalent rainfall. And I'll be tracking higher chances of rainfall ahead, though.
Citron's Used Auto Parts is 24 acres with thousands of used parts for early and late model vehicles. Why buy new when used will do? Citron's Used Auto Parts has ready-to-use motors, transmission, and body parts, along with standard 30-day warranties. Save money at Citron's Used Auto Parts in West Odessa on Business 20 between West Loop 338 and FM 1936. Call Citron's today at 432-381-2401. See how you can save money and get your vehicle back on the road. 432-381-2401.
Professionally trained account executives help businesses get results through advertising. We are a results-driven team. Our ABC Big 2 account executives love helping your business tell your story to over 500,000 people in West Texas. We want to be your marketing partner. We're on fire about growing your business.
Prices are escalating everywhere except at Bob Mills because nobody does free like me. Like this 12-foot top grain leather sectional, less than $80 a month, and the $800 Ottoman free. Plus, I'm in stock.
Are you looking for a job in the fast-paced world of news? ABC Big 2 is currently hiring for the following positions. Qualified applicants, head over to yourbasin.com and click on Work for Us under the Jobs tab.
Square of Fortune wants to know if you can solve this puzzle.
You must be joking.
Happy April Fools from Wheel of Fortune.
Thank you, Permian Basin, for nominating the remarkable women in your life.
Now stay tuned as 4 of these inspirational stories are being featured on ABC Big 2 every Tuesday this month.
ABC Big 2, recognizing remarkable women.
And now, your local Weather Authority forecast.
Happy April Fool's Day, everybody. Temperatures starting off in the 40s and 50s when you're heading out the door. And a live look at the Tall City. Partly to mostly cloudy skies right now. Those winds fairly light, But as those temperatures rise this afternoon, so will those winds, especially early in the afternoon. High temperatures in the 70s and 80s today, with higher chances of rainfall potentially on their way. And the latest update within the drought monitor, we do notice that we have the worst form of drought across the Permian Basin, especially in the Midland and Odessa area. These darker reds indicate exceptional drought, the worst form of drought. And just how dry have we been since October 1st? And up until today, April Fool's Day, it has been the second driest between those periods on record. 0.41 inches of equivalent rainfall. The driest during that time period was 2010 and 2011. So it just goes to show that this is one of the worst droughts for this time of year. However, I am looking at higher chances of rainfall ahead, but not for today or tomorrow. Later in the weekend and early next week. For today, a mix of clouds and sun will be the bigger story. Rain and snow will be off to our north. And this morning, we are experiencing some clouds, but not producing any rainfall. Low clouds in the Midland and Odessa area. Clear skies, though, in the southern basin. Temperatures, again, will be soaring into the 70s and 80s, much warmer compared to yesterday. So for the first day of April, above normal temperatures by as much as 5 degrees in most locations. Warm and dry with partly cloudy skies. A great day to enjoy the outdoors, maybe even jump in the pool. And those winds will be breezy, but I think it'll start to subside as we head later in the afternoon. Tracking our chances of rain, not going to be the big story for a majority of the basin, but behind me we do notice that off to our north and east, some strong storms staying off to our north and east, not going to be affecting us here in the basin. And then as we head into tonight and tomorrow, mostly clear skies. Overnight lows will be dipping into the 40s for many locations with light winds, but the easterly component in those winds will be providing a little bit more in the way of humid conditions. That's something that we're going to be tracking throughout the weekend, which may bring higher chances of rainfall eventually. Again, tracking those temperatures for you guys, starting off in the 40s and 50s, warming up into the 70s and 80s throughout the basin, upper 70s in the higher elevations, cooling off tonight in the 40s and lower 50s, so a bit cooler compared to what we're seeing right now. 70s and 80s tomorrow, lighter winds, so more pleasant weather conditions. And then as we head to Sunday, strong to severe thunderstorms, higher chances of rainfall. This is something that we are looking forward to. But there could be strong to severe storms, so we are your local weather authority. We will let you know if any storms do become severe. High temperatures on Sunday in the 80s and 90s, a few leftover rain showers on Monday. 80s and 90s on Tuesday, but cooling off later in the week, so the temperature roller coaster continues, guys.
All right, thanks, Ryan. We're taking a live look for you this morning at Interstate 20 and JBS Parkway. Traffic beginning to pick up just a little bit out there. It is still fairly early on in your morning commute, but we will continue to keep you updated as the morning progresses. Well, the market just did something that in the past has signaled a recession. Jane King is at the NASDAQ with that story and more.
Good morning. The 2-year and 10-year Treasury yields inverted for the first time since 2019 yesterday, sending a possible warning signal that a recession could be on the horizon. Analyst firm Bespoke says when this happens historically, there's a 2/3 chance of a recession within 2 years. Well, Honda has found a way to address the record high new and used car prices by selling very old cars. Honda and its luxury brand Acura are launching new certified pre-owned programs that cover vehicles up to 10 years old. Stocks slid on the final day of the month and the quarter. It was a head-spinning 3 months for stocks, logging the worst quarter in 2 years. And the federal government's emergency rental assistance program helped prevent more than 1 million evictions last year. An estimated 1.36 million renters avoided an eviction filing as a result of the government's rent relief program, according to a Princeton University study. From the NASDAQ market site, I'm Jane King. That's your money.
All right, well, now for our favorite time of the week, Foodie Friday. Chef Steven is here with me this morning, and we are chefing up some watermelon salad.
Yes, we are. It's now that it's finally starting to warm up, you know, springtime, 80s, maybe some 90s weather, you know.
Watermelon's perfect.
It's great. It's refreshing. It's crisp, and it doesn't take a whole lot of time at all to make. You just need a few ingredients. In this case, watermelon, lime, cucumber, red onion, feta cheese. Now, a lot of the times people like to throw in mint, but I'm changing it up with a little bit of some basil.
Okay, so both good options.
Oh yeah, most definitely. Now, over here in front of you, we got a little bowl of arugula and a little bit of our mixture. So I'm going to show you real quick how I like to chop everything up. Now, when it comes to our basil, all we're going to do is roll it up. Now, anytime that you cut vegetables, you always want to curl your fingers in. Do you know why that is?
Learned that in culinary, actually.
Yeah? So, yeah, the reason for that is because you will not cut your fingers. Notice how my knife isn't coming very high up, so we're keeping it safe, because the last thing that you want to do when you're making your watermelon salad is cut your fingers.
Add some extra red in there?
Yeah, no, we're not going to do that exactly. So we're going to throw that into our bowl. The next thing that we're going to do is we're going to get our red onions. Same thing. So you're just going to have your nice sharp knife. You're just going to kind of chop up, right?
Okay.
Now notice how
I don't know that I'd be that fast, but
right? It just comes with a little bit of time, you know. Sometimes you're gonna get those nice thin pieces of onion.
Okay.
We're gonna throw a little bit of this into our bowl as well. Now, while we're doing that, do me a huge favor.
Okay.
Pour just a little bit of that lemon-infused olive oil in there.
Lemon.
Yes, I love this olive oil because it just brightens it up as well.
Okay.
Now, the same thing with our cucumber. We're just gonna kind of slice on the bias, and the reason for that is because now you have these nice little shapes. Yeah, exactly. It just makes everything look a little bit cooler, you know? Now we're going to throw that again into our salad, you know? So continue stirring that up for me.
We've got a nice mixture here going.
Exactly. Now I took the liberty of pre-dicing up a little bit of some watermelon. So yeah, we're just going to kind of toss that all in there as well. A little bit of our feta cheese. And the last thing that we're going to do is we're going to get a lime. Now, normally whenever you cut your limes, how do you do them?
I usually cut down the middle. I cut it in fours, down the middle and in fours, and then usually I'm just squeezing it into a water or something like that.
Okay,
But
so that's always the popular way to go. We're going to do it slightly different. We're going to slice the sides, and the reason for that is because we're going to get even more juice out of this lime. So,
now we just have a few moments left here, Chef.
Yes.
So let's squeeze that lime in.
let's wrap this all up. So all we're going to do is just get our lime in there and mix that all up. A little bit of some balsamic reduction. Now, do me a favor. Mix that up and then taste everything. So tell me how it all is.
I need to give this a try.
This, again, one of my favorite recipes, especially for the springtime, the summertime. All we're going to do is keep it light, fresh, and crisp. How's
This
that
is
treat you?
amazing. This is great.
Exactly.
All right, well, thank you so much, Chef, for joining us this morning.
Thanks for having me.
Coming up, it is Forever Home Friday. Are you looking for a new best friend? Well, we'll meet Molly and Millie right after this.
In this morning's GMA First Look, an ABC News exclusive.
It sounds like Chris Rock had the ability, the option, to have the LAPD go arrest and remove Will Smith.
For the first time since that unthinkable onstage moment,
Will Smith just smacked the shit out of me.
our TJ Holmes going one-on-one with the producer of the 94th Academy Awards, Will Packer.
They were saying, this is battery, you can press charges, we can arrest him. They were laying out the options. And as they were talking, Chris was, he was being very dismissive of those options.
And coming up at 7 a.m., we'll have more of our exclusive interview with Will Packer as he walks us through the moments we didn't see at home, the attempts to get Will Smith to leave the ceremony, and what he thinks should happen to the Best Actor winner now. With your GMA First Look, I'm Andrew Dimbert, ABC News, New York.
Trilogy for COPD.
Birds flying high, you know how I feel. Breeze drifting on.
If you've been playing down your COPD,
It's a new dawn, it's a new day.
it's time to make a stand. Start a new day with Trilogy.
And I'm feeling good.
No once-daily COPD medicine has the power to treat COPD in as many ways as Trilogy. With 3 medicines in 1 inhaler, Trilogy helps people breathe easier and improves lung function. It also helps prevent future flare-ups. Trilogy won't replace a rescue inhaler for sudden breathing problems. Tell your doctor if you have a heart condition or high blood pressure before taking it. Do not take Trilogy more than prescribed. Trilogy may increase your risk of thrush, pneumonia, and osteoporosis. Call your doctor if worsened breathing, chest pain, mouth or tongue swelling, problems urinating, vision changes, or eye pain occur. Take a stand and start a new day with Trilogy. Ask your doctor about Once Daily Trelegy and save at Trelegy.com.
All right, well, it is time for Forever Home Friday. This morning, we introduce you to Molly and Millie. Let's bring in now Tara Acox from the Midland Humane Coalition, who's going to tell us a little bit about them and if they'd be a good fit for you.
This week, we have two pets of the week. Molly is a 4-year-old female border collie mix. She's the black and white one. Lily is a 5-year-old female terrier mix. She's the brown and white one. Lily and Molly both lived in the same home with a small child, so we think they do well with a family with children. They're both sweet-natured, but could use some help learning to walk on a leash. Lily and Molly both know some basic commands like sit. Lily is a little on the chubby side and would benefit with an active family who could help her get her weight under control. We'd like to adopt them both together, but we'll consider adopting them separately also. Lily is especially anxious in the shelter environment, and she can't wait to find her forever home. If you're interested in meeting them, call us at 432-557-3405 or email adopt@midlandhumane.org. Like and follow our Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok pages to see all of our adoptable pets and find out about our upcoming events. Our next event is the Hot Dog Run taking place on May 7th. We're in need of sponsors. If you'd like to learn more, visit midlandhumane.org/HDR 2022. Have a wonderful weekend.
And speaking of the weekend forecast, temperatures will be warm and those winds will start to pick up later in the weekend. But for today, light winds will start to pick up later this morning and early in the afternoon. Then as we head into tomorrow, lighter winds. But those winds will pick back up on Sunday with higher chances of much needed rainfall.
Tech Bites, brought to you by Sparklight, a stronger connection.
In today's Tech Bites, Instagram is rolling out new messaging features. Users will have the option of replying to DMs directly from their feed without clicking on their inbox. You can also send song previews in 30-second clips. Samsung is launching a new program that will allow users of some Galaxy devices to make their own repairs. The company will offer access to approved parts, tools, and detailed repair guides. Samsung says it's working with iFixit, an online repair community, to implement the plan. Finally, Alexa's new features aimed at saving you money. Amazon says the voice assistant can now notify Prime members up to a day ahead of specific discounts on items in their cart or their wish list. Users can then ask Alexa to buy those items. I had a joke about a discount, but it felt like a cheap shot. Those are your Tech Bites. Have a great day.
If you have to pre-rinse your dishes, you could be using the wrong detergent, and you're wasting up to 20 gallons of water every time. Let's end this habit. Skip the rinse with Finish Quantum. Its active lift technology has the power to tackle 24-hour dried-on food stains without pre-rinsing for an unbeatable clean. Together, we can help save America 150 billion gallons of water in just 1 year. Skip the rinse with Finish to save our water.
Had enough? No, arthritis. Here, Aspercream arthritis. Full prescription strength. Reduces inflammation. Thank the gods. Don't thank them too soon.
Kick pain in the Aspercream.
If you're always asking, where next? Capital One has a new class of travel cards for you. Venture X. Earn 10x miles on hotels and 5x miles on flights booked through Capital One Travel. Venture X. What's in your wallet?
Friday only from 10 a.m. to midnight at Ashley's Midnight Marathon. Buy one, get one half off. Buy this sofa, get the matching love seat half off. Or get 0% interest for 5 years. Friday only at Ashley.
If it's your plan, let me be a part of this so I can glorify you with it.
Every time I step on the court, I say a prayer, and it's His will, not mine.
Gotta have faith in God and realize that He's the one thing that's gonna be there all the time.
I can't stress enough just how blessed I am to be in the position that I am, and that's all the credit to God.
Watch more inspiring moments like these from this year's Final Four on the 700 Club, Monday at 9 a.m.
At Children's Dental Center, we're big on smiles. That's why we work hard to create a relaxing experience for kids who need dental care. Our knowledgeable and friendly team makes learning about oral health fun, so kids can feel confident about their smiles for years to come. And for those who need that extra level of comfort, our doctors are certified to perform sedation in the office or offer treatment at the hospital. You can rest assured that your child is in great hands at Children's Dental Center. Schedule online at childrensdentalcentermidland.com.
Citron's Used Auto Parts is 24 acres with thousands of used parts for early and late model vehicles. Why buy new when used will do? Citron's Used Auto Parts has ready-to-use motors, transmission, and body parts, along with standard 30-day warranties. Save money at Citron's Used Auto Parts in West Odessa on Business 20 between West Loop 338 and FM 1936. Call Citrons today at 432-381-2401. See how you can save money and get your vehicle back on the road. 432-381-2401.
Don't miss Ashley's Midnight Marathon. Friday only from 10 a.m. to midnight. Buy one, get one half off store-wide. Or get 0% interest for 5 years with no minimum purchase and no down payment. Friday only at Ashley. Live, you're watching Good Morning Basin on ABC Big 2.
Now at 6:30, lawmakers want to make a big change at the banks, how they plan to get rid of a pesky fee.
Plus, a controversial law is working to protect police, why some people want to eliminate it.
And people in prison are being released too early, how they're managing to get away with it.
And now your ABC Big 2 weather right now.
Well, first, we're going to send things over to meteorologist Ryan DePhillips with a check at the weather this morning. It is, I think, shaping up to be a beautiful weekend.
Yeah, we were just saying, you know, when you start eating watermelon, that means summer is coming.
It's like the official welcome to summer, welcome to warm weather.
Exactly, and we just had some with Foodie Friday. Chef Steven made that delicious watermelon
You guys
salad.
make me hungry.
Yes, and Ryan, it's got us itching for that summer weather.
Itching and hungry, right?
Yes.
All that. So temperatures, are going to be warm, guys, and winds would be fairly light for the most part, so enjoyable weather conditions. Temperatures starting off in the 40s and 50s, 48 degrees for the low temperature this morning, but temperatures are pretty steady right now in the low to mid 50s across the region, soaring into the 70s and 80s, and compared to average, starting off near normal for the morning hours, but above the average high of 77 degrees. As tracking those temperatures for you guys, widespread 70s and 80s today. No 90s on this map, so it will be not quite hot, but still pretty mild to warm for this time of year. Cooling off into the 40s and lower 50s tonight, so a little bit cooler compared to what we're seeing right now. But higher chances of rainfall are ahead. Not for today. Any chances of rain will remain off to our north for today and tomorrow. Again, mostly sunny skies. But then as we head into Sunday, higher chances of storms, strong to severe thunderstorms off in the eastern part of our viewing area. And I'll be tracking that temperature roller coaster ahead. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Ryan. Let's take a look outside right now at Loop 250 and Tremont. Traffic still light this morning, so if you are driving in that area, roads are pretty empty right now. Well, something a lot of people are asking as we are heading into summer, is it time to go maskless on cruise ships? 21 state attorneys general filed a suit advocating for that, though some say the suit may be premature as the current CDC mask mandate expires on April 18th. Right now, the CDC is recommending all future cruise passengers wear masks, get vaccinated, wash their hands, and take other precautions before boarding a ship. In a statement, the CDC said, quote, while cruising will always pose some risk of COVID-19 transmission, travelers will make their own risk assessment when choosing to travel on a cruise ship, much like they do in all other travel settings. The Cruise Lines International Association praised that decision, saying it will level the playing field between cruise ships and similar venues on land for the first time in more than 2 years.
Developing now on ABC Big 2 News.
Developing now at 6:30, Ukrainian armed forces say they have destroyed a convoy of Russian tanks near Kyiv. This comes as an urgent evacuation from a city described as a hellscape is underway. People are said to have been waiting 4 hours in line just for bread. They've had no running water and very little hope until now. ABC's Mona Kassar Abdi has the details.
Today in Ukraine, Russia claims a humanitarian corridor will open from the besieged city of Mariupol, where an estimated 100,000 people have been trapped in a humanitarian crisis, with little food, water, or electricity for weeks. Russian forces have also handed back control of the Chernobyl nuclear plant after holding the site since February. According to unconfirmed reports, Russian troops may have suffered radiation sickness after digging trenches in contaminated areas. In other areas of Ukraine, intense fighting rages on. Multiple missiles hit the capital of Kyiv Thursday, one striking while ABC's James Longman was on the air.
We just heard an enormous explosion here towards the north of where we're standing. And you can see there deep dark smoke rising into the sky. Now we're not sure what's been hit.
But with Russia suffering so many setbacks, President Biden says Vladimir Putin may have placed some of his advisors under house arrest.
I'm not saying this with a certainty. He seems to be self-isolated, and there's some indication that he has fired or put under house arrest some of his advisors.
Meanwhile, more people fleeing Ukraine are turning up on America's southern border. More than 600 are waiting at this holding area in Tijuana, Mexico, hoping to cross the border. This woman and her kids drawing Ukrainian flags. They've been waiting since Tuesday to enter the U.S.
How hard has this been on you?
Emotionally, it was hard. Oh, we haven't been bathing. It's a very hard situation. Mona Kosar-Abdi, ABC News, New York.
Now back in Ukraine, an unusual statement from President Zelensky. He said he had to fire 2 military generals. He called them traitors, but did not elaborate on their actions. Now you can read more about the war in Ukraine and the ways people are helping right now on yourbasin.com.
Well, for some, overdraft fees are a frustrating inconvenience, but for others, they pose crippling costs. Now, some lawmakers want to change how people are charged altogether. The new law aims to limit the amount and number of overdraft fees that banks can charge.
Overdraft fees are paid the most by people who can least afford them.
My bill tries to cut down on these unfair and deceptive practices.
The market is naturally taking care of the issue without government intervention, and we do not need more rules from Washington.
Recently, major banks like Wells Fargo, Citigroup, and Bank of America have made changes themselves by reducing their overdraft fees or eliminating them altogether.
Some lawmakers are pushing to reestablish postal banking to help low-income families and rural communities. The Postal Banking Act would give access to services like savings and checking accounts, debit cards, and low-fee ATMs at the post office. It could also generate new business for the struggling postal agency.
The U.S. Postal Service has the real estate, the workforce, and the know-how to meet this need.
The way we bank has changed. We have to look at banking too. The nature of banking has changed. I mean, we're doing things on our phone that we never thought we could do.
Some lawmakers believe it's more important to develop models everyone can use.
Meanwhile, a debate on Capitol Hill has started over police reform negotiations. Legal experts say a set of rules currently protects officers from being sued if someone accuses a police officer of misconduct. But civil rights activists say these rules make law enforcement immune to any state or federal charges.
We don't want police to be used as piñatas in courts, but we do want police to do the right thing.
We have to provide them with legal protections that qualified immunity affords. Period. Full stop.
Some lawmakers support eliminating the protection. Other proposals include allowing a victim to sue police departments or cities instead of an individual officer.
Drones are essential for national security, but lawmakers say as commercial drones become more popular, the technology poses a new security threat. Customs and Border Protection say drones allow agents to survey hard-to-reach areas along the southern border. However, they're afraid of what could happen if the devices land in the hands of the wrong person.
This toy is actually causing possible dangers to themselves and other people.
Disrupted travel plans for around 140,000 passengers and economic losses estimated in the tens of millions of dollars.
Gould is calling on Congress to expand the current law to equip law enforcement with the tools to detect and engage in drones that present a danger. Well, the National Weather Service confirmed that an EF1 tornado hit in Rockwall County early Wednesday morning, but people who live there say they never had a warning. Many were fast asleep when winds of 100 miles per hour tore through. The area relies on the county's weather notification system, but no tornado warnings were issued by the county because they weren't issued by the National Weather Service. A meteorologist with the agency says that may be due to a couple of factors. The storm may have been too fast, been missed between radar scans, or when the team was checking other spots.
It is something that we'll take a look at before we hopefully get into the next event and see what we could have picked up on, what we may have missed, and what we could do better with next time to get that warning out to people.
Thankfully, no one was hurt, but 5 homes were damaged.
And a glitch in Houston's court processing system led to the release of people who were not scheduled to be released. This issue is pointing to a bigger problem on how Texas courts are dealing with the hefty backlog of criminal cases. Our Jayla Washington has more on how the state is looking for solutions.
Those defendants simply couldn't get before a magistrate judge in a courtroom a lot like the one I'm in right now. So essentially, they ended up getting a get out of jail free card, at least for the time being. Though what happened in Houston is rare, backlog is a real concern for the entire state of Texas right now. You could expect an average of 186 criminal jury trials to be held across the state of Texas every week pre-pandemic. Last year, though, that number dropped to 4. This is according to Texas 2036, a nonprofit that tracks this kind of information to help with data-motivated strategies.
The pandemic obviously kept us from resolving cases for a year and a half or so.
Hays County DA Wes Mouse says all courts at various levels across the state are now playing catch-up, with little room for error or system glitches like Houston just saw, adding to its overall backlog. Texas lawmakers are doing some behind-the-scenes work to address how to speed up that process that could take up to 5 years, according to Texas 2036.
It's not anything that's going to be simply fixed by creating courts, more judges, or whatnot. It's going to take a lot of working on efficiencies on those cases.
Joe Moody, a state representative from El Paso, is the vice chair of the House Criminal Justice Reform Committee. He's prepping for the next legislative session and says addressing court backlog is top of mind.
Let's make sure that we're not clogging the system unnecessarily so that when we have unprecedented events like this, it doesn't create a crisis.
And you can get the latest news around Texas with the Your Basin app. Download it on the Apple App Store or Google Play.
One goalie in the Basin is trying to leave his mark in West Texas. His quest for history, straight ahead.
Warmer weather is on its way. Temperatures warmer compared to 24 hours ago in the tall city, as much as 10 to 15 degrees warmer. High temperatures soaring into the 70s and 80s. Stronger winds and even warmer conditions later this weekend with higher chances of rainfall.
ABC Big 2 birthday celebrations, brought to you by Nothing Bundt Cakes.
We're all for sleight of hand. Because it's not just a sport, it's a magic show. The NHL on ABC.
Sponsored locally by the Odessa Jackalopes.
I've covered a lot of twisted, dark stories, but I've never seen anything quite like this.
This is where the nightmare began.
Police had asked, would horse tranquilizer kill a human being?
This is crazy.
2020 tonight on ABC.
Spring ahead with our top speeds. Get faster internet with Suddenlink. Like our high-speed 1 gig internet for just $49.99 a month. With it, you'll get a $200 Visa prepaid card, HBO Max included on us for 1 year, and a free Wi-Fi extender for whole home coverage. Get our fastest speed. Plus, with optimum flexibility from Suddenlink, you can choose more of what you want with no hidden fees. And the grass gets greener when you combine with Optimum Mobile for even more savings. Spring into action and sign up at Suddenlink.com or call us at 800-972-5757 today.
Each year, Augusta, Georgia hosts the world's premier golf event. Join us for a special look at this year's tournament with Tee Time Augusta, from the plant life that gives the course its iconic beauty, and how Augusta National represented freedom for one man while his was taken away. plus an inside look at efforts to grow the game with junior golf. Join us for Tea Time Augusta.
Saturday, April 2nd at 12:30 p.m. on ABC Big 2. Sponsored locally by Silverleaf Homes. Are you looking for a job in the fast-paced world of news? ABC Big 2 is currently hiring for the following positions. Qualified applicants, head over to yourbasin.com and click on Work for Us under the Jobs tab.
Square of Fortune wants to know if you can solve this puzzle.
You must be joking.
Happy April Fools from Wheel of Fortune.
Thank you, Permian Basin, for nominating the remarkable women in your life.
Now stay tuned as 4 of these inspirational stories are being featured on ABC Big 2 every Tuesday this month.
ABC Big 2, recognizing remarkable women.
Watch ABC Big 2 News weeknights at 5, 6, and 10. And now, your local Weather Authority forecast.
Happy April 1st. Happy April Fool's Day, everybody. Temperatures starting off in the 40s and 50s across the Permian Basin. A live look at Odessa. Partly to mostly cloudy skies right now, but no rainfall right now, as we could be seeing higher chances of rainfall later this weekend. But before then, mostly dry conditions, warm conditions, and at times breezy conditions. We need that rainfall because the latest update within the drought monitor, we have the worst form of drought in the Midland and Odessa area. See these darker reds? This indicates exceptional drought, meaning that we have the highest form of drought. The ground is very dry out there. Combine that with gusty winds, brush fires, blowing dust. It sounds familiar, right? That's what we have been experiencing over the past several weeks. But I think for today, we'll be seeing times where it's not going to be as breezy, so a little bit more in the way of enjoyable weather conditions. But speaking of how bad the drought has been, ever since October 1st to April 1st, we've only had 0.41 inches of equivalent rainfall. And from that time period in history, it's the second driest ever. The worst drought during that time period was 2010 to 2011 in recent memory. But again, either way you slice it, it's a very dry go over the past several weeks and several months, as a matter of fact. Dry for the next couple of days. Any chances of rain and even some snow off toward north and west, moving off to the east. Not going to be affecting us here in the Permian Basin, but we are experiencing low clouds this morning in the Midland and Odessa area. But we're going to be seeing a little bit more in the way of sunshine later this afternoon, partly to mostly clear skies, high temperatures in the low to mid 80s later this afternoon. So if you guys want to enjoy the outdoors, should be a great day to do that because those winds will start to subside later in the afternoon. The strongest winds will be later this morning, early this afternoon. Any chances of rainfall remaining off to our north and east, most of the basin mostly clear, as we do notice that will be the case as we head into tonight. And for tomorrow morning, no chances of rain. So despite, again, not us getting any chances of beneficial rainfall over the next couple days, enjoyable weather conditions as overnight lows will dip into the 40s tonight. Light winds from the northeast, those the easterly component in those winds will be providing a little bit more in the way of humid conditions. Just remember that. We could be seeing more humid conditions later this weekend, but still mostly dry today. Widespread 70s and 80s before cooling off tonight. Again, in the 40s and even some lower 50s, upper 30s in the far northern part of our viewing area. And for the weekend, temperatures warming up into the 70s, 80s, and even 90s, breezy at times, higher chances of rainfall later in the day on Sunday. This is certainly some good news. However, some of those storms may be severe. We are your local weather authority. We will let you know if any severe storms do pop up. We'll keep a close eye on that for you guys. Cooler conditions on Monday with a slight chance of rain showers before warming up and drying out by Tuesday. And make sure you check in with Chief Meteorologist Chase Menendez at 5 to 6 and 10 p.m. tonight.
All right, thank you, Ryan. We are taking a live look for you this morning at Interstate 20 and JBS Parkway. Traffic picking up out there, but still flowing pretty steadily. We will continue to keep you updated on your morning commute. Well, this morning for Fitness Friday, we have Emma Thompson from the YMCA in Midland to tell us how you can get your kids ready for summer with swimming classes. Good morning, Emma.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. So summer is on the way and kids want to be in the pool. So can you tell us about your guys' swim classes that you offer?
Yes. So at the Midland YMCA, we offer swim lessons for all ages and all swim levels. So we make it a fun experience for everybody.
Okay, and so what is the importance of teaching kids to swim, especially at a young age?
So one of the biggest things that we teach in our swim classes is safety around water. We want kids to be safe. We want them to have the knowledge to be safe in aquatic emergency situations, and so that's what our main thing is to teach.
Is there an age that's too early for kids to start, or is there, like kind of a range?
So there's an age range. We start at 6 months, which is pretty early, and then we go all the way to 99 plus. So we're trying to teach all ages how to swim. Anybody and everybody can come.
Okay, now I also understand that you guys are in need of lifeguards. Is that correct?
Yes, we are. We are in desperate need of lifeguards. We have such an influx of people who come throughout the summer months that we want a lifeguard staff who can be there to make it as safe and fun as for everybody who comes.
A pretty popular place to be over the summer?
Oh yes, very much so. We have great benefits too. If you come, you get a free membership if you work for us, and we're also having a hiring event on April 9th.
Okay, awesome. And so is this lifeguard position, is it volunteer-based? Is it paid? Can you tell me a little bit about that?
So we'll always take volunteers, but it is a paid position, so we start at $14 an hour and go up from there.
Okay, awesome. And so what are kind of the requirements if someone watching now is looking to be a lifeguard that they need in order to apply for this position?
So you have to be at least 15 years old, and then you have to pass the lifeguard certification class. But as soon as you pass that, the certification lasts for 2 years, and so you're golden after that.
Okay, awesome. Now, are you guys open year-round, or is this something seasonal?
So we are open year-round. We have positions in our aquatics department year-round, but we have positions all over the Y that need to be filled. So
busy place to be?
It is. Very busy place to be.
So would you recommend people, that want to spend their summers there in the pools, having a good time, get out there early?
Oh, yeah. Get out here early. We're starting classes in April. We actually start on Monday, and then we go all throughout the summer, August, even in November and December.
Awesome. Now, any special events you guys hold over the summer as well to get people to the pools and have fun?
So we have a lifeguard certification class June 6th, 7th, and 8th, and we also have a hiring event April 9th from 10 to 2. So if you want to come on down, if aquatics isn't your thing, but you want to be a sports referee or work with childcare, we have openings for those too.
Okay, awesome. Now, if someone does want to apply for the lifeguard position or enroll their kids in the swim classes, who can they contact?
They can contact the Midland YMCA. You can go online and register there, or you can come into our front desk and register there.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much for being here with us this morning, Emma.
Of course. Thank you.
All right, now over to sports.
And now your ABC Big 2 Sports.
He's already cemented himself as one of the Jackalopes' best goalies in recent memory. But for Alex Proctor, he has a chance to go beyond that. Our Cameron Stewart has the story.
I couldn't ask for a better place to play hockey.
The foundation for the Odessa Jackalope success this season has come from Alex, or William, Proctor.
That's how I got him in my phone ads. Alex William Proctor.
Just whatever, our PA guys got for me.
Whatever you call him, the native Texan loves playing in Odessa.
I grew up watching the Jacks play in the CHL, so it's a dream come true. This is where I want to be. This is where I always wanted to be.
And Proctor has been stellar this season between the pipes, currently sitting second in Jackalope's history for wins in a season, and he's been integral in the team's playoff push.
From the slot, caught in the left glove by Proctor. Great vision to rob the captain.
It starts with him. He's the one that's making the big saves for us. He's the one that's keeping us in every game.
The only man ahead of him on the wins list? That's none other than Vezina Trophy-winning goalie Connor Hellebuck, who got his number retired by the Jackalopes March 26th, and is a player Proctor has tried to emulate.
I think I thought about it more at the beginning of the season. Like, it wasn't that long ago that he was right here on this very ice, playing the same position I play.
And while Hellebuck's influence can be seen all over the Jack Shack on a game night, there's no shortage of support for Proctor.
Just feels like the big leagues. You see people wearing the jerseys, and it just makes me feel right at home.
And while the young goaltender is still enjoying his time in the Permian Basin, he's got plenty more exciting stops ahead of him.
He's going to go as far as he wants to go.
But as for leaving his own legacy, Proctor doesn't want to see Hellebuck's number 37 getting lonely.
Do you think we'll see number 1 up there someday?
That's the hope.
Well, after going undefeated and winning a championship, the West Texas Warbirds aren't resting on their laurels. The team signed former West Virginia quarterback Skylar Howard, and after talking with coaches in Odessa, he's ready to help the Warbirds run it back.
We've sat down and watched some film, and we talked about how the play is communicated and how it comes in and how simplified, but also how complex it can be, and the shots taken and when things will be there, and the defenses are different. You have less guys, field's smaller, and so there's a lot of room in there to learn. I'm excited to be under Coach Smith and really take my game to the next level and just continue to get better.
Well, preparations have been underway at the Midland County Horseshoe Arena for the 5th year of the Spring Stampede Rodeo. The rodeo will be a 2-day event today and tomorrow on Saturday. The events will include bareback riding, saddle bronc riding, breakaway roping, tie-down roping, team roping, and girls barrel racing, and of course, bull riding. Doors open today at 6 p.m. with the rodeo beginning at 7:30. We will be there at 5 p.m. and 6 p.m. before the rodeo starts to get you ready for the event. That'll do it for sports. Back over to you.
Now to your top stories at 6. Today, recreational marijuana is officially legal in New Mexico. All adults 21 and older will be able to buy up to 2 ounces of marijuana at retail outlets and dispensaries. Still, Lee County police say there will be tight regulations, and anyone driving under the influence of marijuana will be prosecuted.
Meanwhile, President Biden is under fire for his decision to release barrels of oil from the reserve. He's announced a policy for oil companies to produce more oil to help the destabilizing energy market. Energy prices have been spiking since Russia invaded Ukraine, so the use it or lose it policy aims to lower the cost of energy prices in oil.
And Odessa police are looking for a group of thieves. 2 women and 1 man tried to steal more than $1,500 worth of items from a Walmart. It happened back in December last year. The group was confronted by Walmart security, and that's when they took off in a white Ford truck. If you have any information, call Odessa Crime Stoppers. All right, let's send things over now to Ryan for one last look at that weekend weather.
Yeah, temperatures starting off in the 40s and 50s, warming up in the 70s and 80s with a mix of clouds and sun. Mostly cloudy right now, but I do think we'll see a little bit more in the way of sunshine later in the day. Overnight lows primarily in the 40s tonight across our region. 70s and 80s tomorrow with more sunshine and a little bit less breezy for tomorrow. Higher chances of rainfall on Sunday. Locally strong storms. A few leftover rain showers on Monday, warming back up on Tuesday, cooling back down later in the week. So guys, temperature roller coaster over the next several days.
Seriously.
Definitely, but it is looking like a good weekend, especially for the rodeo that's in town for people to head on.
Saturday is looking like the prime day there, though.
Yeah, it's my pick of the weekend, I would say.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Are you guys a fan of the rodeo?
Have never been, but I do want to go.
I was going to say the same. I've actually never been myself, but I'm excited. I want to go to one and kind of experience it. I feel like I'm not truly living in Texas until I've done that.
Exactly.
That's so true.
Especially the bull riding. It's always so. I've only rode a mechanical bull once.
Same.
Couldn't even last 1 second. Just fell off immediately. So.
Yeah, I've tried so hard on those things, but it's just a constant failure every time.
Honestly, it's all go together. Might as well, right?
It's cool to see the professionals.
Yes, for sure.
Absolutely.
All right, well, we are staying live and local next at 7 on Fox 24 for another hour of Good Morning Basin.
Here's a look at what's coming up in the next hour. Border Patrol agents are facing an uphill battle. We'll explain why.
Plus, as we said, the Permian Basin Spring Stampede Pro Rodeo is back this weekend. We'll have the Rodeo Queens live in studio for a preview of what's to come. That's all coming up in the 3rd hour of Good Morning Basin next at 7 on Fox 24. We'll see you over there. Have a great weekend.
Weekdays at 5, 6, and 10 p.m. with Chief Meteorologist Chase Menendez.